We all know the cliche that pressure makes diamonds and blah, 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 blah. But what about the pressure of expectations, where Vikings rookie head coach Kevin O'Connell, 36 years young, first time as the man with the challenge flag in the National Football League, and there's already significant expectations. This is not lowered expectations. This is higher expectations, because if you look at it, it's very interesting because the Vikings went 8-9 last season. It looked like they massively underachieved, a lot of talent, and they kept it together. So you look at the Vikings 2022, it feels like for most of the fan base and even a number of the national media Jerona haircuts, double-digit wins or bust for the Vikings, winning the division or bust for the Vikings. That's some pretty high expectations and a lot of pressure on Kevin O'Connell as a first-time head coach. And I would argue that he's one of the most under pressure head coaches coming into the National Football League as a rookie head coach in recent memory, because you look at the list of new coaches in 2022. Now, you have to discount this because not everyone is rookie head coach, whatever, but Lovey, been there, done that. If the Texans get 4 wins, and he remains the coach next year, unlike David Culley, who actually had some success with the Texans, I think that's a win for him. Matt Eberflus, if the Bears avoid the number 1 overall pick, that's a W for him. Peterson, Doug's been there, done that. Dayball with the Giants. I mean, everything's on Danny Dimes. The Giants do have a relatively talented rooster, as well as they have a very winnable division in the NFC least. But whatever there, Mike McDaniel of the Dolphins. Sure, there's some raised expectations, but also you got the Bills and the Patriots in their division. Sure. Vikings and KOC. You have Nathaniel Hackett with the Broncos. Now, Hackett, yes, raised expectations. I think the Broncos have a very talented roster thanks to George Payton and to a degree John Elway and also Russell Wilson one time. That's a lot of fun. But again, division. And Dennis Allen has been a head coach before, Saints, whatever. Josh McDaniels, he was a head coach before. You guys remember that? He was the one who drafted Tebow in the first round. Good times. They got Todd Bowles, again, second time being a head coach. His time with the Jets, whatever, but he is going to be the steward of the Bucs. He's been the architect of that fantastic defense. So, yeah, there is pressure and expectations there. But, again, I'm talking strictly rookies. Like, what if Eberflus came into the Bears and they said, hey, you win 10 games this season or your season's going to be a disappointment? And that's basically what Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell are walking into, because like we said, the Vikings last year went 8-9, and a lot of the blame went on Mike Zimmer, went on Rick Spielman, and Zimmer's relationship with Spielman and Zimmer's relationship with Kirk Cousins, and the Vikings not being in the right frame of mind in terms of game management, and the Vikings defense giving away now, especially in the last 2 minutes, and it's just been rough. I mean, the Vikings have not been to the playoffs since 2019. They haven't been above 500 at any point since the start of the 2020 season. So, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why the Vikings underachieved last year, but as a whole, they are a talented team, and that's why the Vikings, they extended Kirk Cousins. They could have gotten their own quarterback, but they rolled with the one that was already here. They largely kept the veteran roster intact, and also Kwesi made some balls moves, man, trading in the division twice. Not once, but twice, with the Lions and the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers. So there's a lot of balls going on in this front office, and Kevin O'Connell, I like that he's not shying away from things, because first off, he walks into a division where Aaron Rodgers, who allegedly has been the reigning defending 2-time NFL MVP. The Packers, again, allegedly have been to the NFC title games a number of times the last couple seasons. So it is, to a degree, a pretty tough road to hoe. It's not like you're walking into the NFC East. But Kevin O'Connell, I love that he's cocksure enough that, hey, I was the OC. I helped build the offense of the Super Bowl champion Rams, where we won a Super Bowl with Matthew frickin' Stafford, who couldn't get anything going in Detroit, even though he had a first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver in Megatron. So I'm coming in. We're going to win some games. We're going to eat some W's. We're going to win this division, and we're going to go from there. So I love it, man. And the Vikings, they have a chance to have a top 5 offense. I truly believe that. Hell, top 5 may be a conservative estimate if and when they get this offensive line figured out with Kevin O'Connell and Wes Phillips and Chris Cooper, and also the infusion of talent that they have, especially on the interior. They already got the bookend tackle, so they already got fantastic bread. Now, what about that filling? What's going on in the middle of that sandwich, huh? Yeah, offensive line gets fixed. Kirk Cousins, all of a sudden, he becomes a top 6, 7-ish type quarterback. Justin friggin' Jefferson gets that Cooper Kupp volume, becomes the best wide receiver in the game. Dalvin Cook stays healthy and is utilized in a bunch of different ways. The defense actually stops the run, and we know that they can rush the passer. That's not going to be an issue. And the better you can rush the passer, the easier it is for the cornerbacks in that secondary. And by the way, Lewis Cine, Andrew Booth Jr. additions to that secondary. Love to see it, man. But I do love that expectations are sky high for Kevin O'Connell out of the gate. This is not a situation where where Leslie Frazier gets the interim tag removed, and you're like, okay, you know what? If we flirt with 500 or better, that's a win. Or Mike Zimmer coming in 2014, at least he's better than Leslie Frazier. Hey, if we can make the playoffs in a couple years, that's a win. No, it's like, no, out of the gates right now, on paper, on purpose. A lot of Vikings fans are like, hey, double-digit wins. We want to see 12-5. We want to see 13-4. We want some more. We want to see 14-3. Let it be. And then make some noise in the playoffs after you win the division and rub the Packers' nose in their doo-doo as you go 2-0 against the Packers. You go 2-0 against the Bears. That should be easy. You go 2-0 against the Lions, who have traditionally given the Vikings fits. And then guess what? You roll into the playoffs as the 1 seed. You get things done. Everything comes through US Bank Stadium. You go down to Arizona, Gold Glendale. Patrick Peterson, he's back home, baby, and he's hosting that Jerome Barty in the stadium that made him a first-team Hall of Famer. Woo! First ballot, whatever. I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up. But I wouldn't want it any other way. I don't think Kevin O'Connell would either. Like, if Kevin O'Connell went to the Bears and just like, hey, win 5 games, we're good. No. He's a type A personality. He's going to get it done. He's already building a great culture here that players want to be around. So sky's the limit, baby. Again, actually having standards and actually having expectations, it's nice. That's how the great teams get it done. The Vikings have been a good team for a long time. Let's go from good to great, Jim Collins style, baby. That's right. But that's it. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts. Pressure. On Kevin O'Connell right out of the gate. It's a good thing. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.